Welcome, everyone, back again to Cornell. I'm so excited to be today with a very special guest that she actually have a very special journey creating and welcoming people in her place and growing amazing organic food for our community. And I would love to welcome you, Jaime, with us today. Hi, dear.
Hi.
Hello. Hi. So, Jamie, I don't want to talk a lot about what you're doing because I'm already very overwhelmed with your place, the energy and everything you do, actually, every little thing that is actually connected to the next step. So you please start with us and share with us your journey. What happened? What are you doing and why you're doing it?
Right. Okay. So I own Cornerstone Organics. We're an organic vegetable farm in Long Sault. We've been farming for almost 10 years, but really focusing on it more in the last maybe 5 or 6 years. And it really just started as a hobby in gardening. And I guess I can take even a step back. My son, who's now 13, was born with a disability. And with that came a bunch of different challenges. And one of them was food allergies. So my son is allergic to a ton of things. So when he was, maybe 4 or 5 years old, we started focusing on whole foods, organic foods. And I've always loved gardening. So we just started growing more of our own food and sourcing things locally. And then because it's a passion of mine to grow things, it's just got bigger and bigger. And then people wanted to buy our produce. And so we started doing some small farmers markets, but for a while it wasn't more than a hobby. It was something we would do with the kids. We'd go to the farmers market in Long Sault, and the kids would be involved in giving people their change and things like that. And it was really just kind of something that we did as a family project. I'm actually a massage therapist. That's my real job, I call it. My husband's a plumber. So it was always just a bit of a little side note. And then about 5 years ago, we moved to the property that we're at now, I guess 6 years ago now. And I decided that I wanted to focus more on the farm and the property being my main focus as a job, so that I was part of my community more. I had like this urge to gather people.
Yeah, I'm one of the people.
Yeah. And so and it started with the organic food. Like there was such a demand for people that wanted local organic food, and we're not huge scale by any means. So there was always this demand that we couldn't fulfill, but we were noticing, more and more people that just wanted to come together around healthy things and positive things. And I was really driven by that. I didn't know where that was going to go exactly, just that I had this, need to be a part of that. And it started with the vegetables. And then we put up the yurt a few years ago. Mm-hmm. Initially, it was just my office as a massage therapist so that I could have a part-time place to practice, because I'd always worked in clinics full time. And because I wanted to focus on the farm and the kids, it wasn't realistic anymore for me to work in an office. So it was initially just meant to be a workspace, but it's such a great space that I wasn't using all the time. So people were approaching me about using it to teach yoga or whatever. And I was like, yes, this is what we need. So it just started really slowly with some friends that were doing a few yoga classes. And I started doing the meditation nights, and we do group meditation every Monday and Wednesday at 7:00. That's kind of my project in the yurt, and everything else is just anybody that wants to use the space like yourself to do workshops. But I'm a little bit picky with what workshops. It's not just an open space for whatever. It's meant to be something positive for my community or healthy, so that, we keep that same theme and vibe in the yurt, so that it's a safe place for people that are looking for that to come together. And they know that anything that we do there is a safe space for that.
This is beautiful, Jamie. Thank you so much for living this magic and sharing your journey with us. And you started years ago, and I think now you're helping a lot of people and inspiring a lot of people. And I'm one of them. I'm blessed to get to know about you and the farm and the space and the activities. Thank you. I actually feel like your energy is calling other people to be as well with you. And I wanted to, if you don't mind, speak a little bit more about your website, as we can see here now on the screen. Can you take us on a tour in the website? How can we
Yeah,
get your amazing farming products? How can I
the
reach
produce.
you? Can I be a member?
Uh, so the way that we've kind of always I want to say specialized with our produce is something called community supported agriculture, or CSA is what most people call it. And a CSA basically means that you're getting a share in my farm. So
Yeah.
instead of coming and finding me at a farmer's market and picking out what you want, you sign up to be a member or to have a share. And every week we deliver to people that are part of that program. So when we do the farmers markets, it's kind of what's extra. Everything first goes to our members, and we keep it kind of small. Like I said, we're not a huge farm, so we have like the best of the best goes to our CSA members. So the way that we do it normally is just like a very straightforward. You sign up, and we deliver every week. This year, we decided to offer 2 different sizes because we found that a lot of people were saying to us that it was too much. Like if it was somebody that was single or just a couple, they're saying it's too much food. So that's something that we've heard quite a bit. So this year we decided to have 2 different sizes. So we have a small and a large portion. The large is going to be what
You
people are used to.
can you take us in a tour in the website to see more pictures and
I
stuff?
do that. I don't. Do I switch
Yeah,
over
if
like
you
this?
just,
Like, is
yeah,
this
you can just move ahead and we can see pictures and stuff on your screen, because we can see your website through you now, so you can talk with
right?
us while we're watching. Thank you. So actually there is kind of a membership here, right? There's a shop
Yes.
and contact. Okay, perfect. And whenever you press anything, we all can see it.
Cool. Okay. So, so this year we've decided to offer the 2 different sizes. The larger size is good for like a family of 3 or 4 or people that eat a lot of vegetables. The smaller portion is meant for people that are single or a couple, or maybe go away a lot in the summer, so they don't need such a big quantity. So the way it works is that it's $25 a week for the smaller portion and $35 a week for the larger portion. And you get a selection of whatever's harvested that day. So everything is same day harvested, washed, and delivered. So it's as fresh and as good as you can get. We grow a little bit of everything. So in the larger portion, you get anywhere from like 10 to 14 different vegetables. The smaller portion, like I said, it's new for us this year, but it'll be probably closer to 6 to 8 items a week.
Mhm.
So those are the 2 options. The amount ends up being that you can pay all up front or every like in 3 different payments or whatever, but it ends up being 25 a week or 35 a week, depending on the size that you pick.
Okay, this is actually perfect. And now we can see that it's easy to connect through and get through the website. And we will share with everyone the website, because I think with what's happening and this pandemic, I think everybody is having this ring that we need to go more healthy. We need to think about actually learning how to grow our own food. Can you
Yeah.
tell us, how do you feel about this effect? Do you think like the pandemic gets people in more to get to see your work, what you're doing? Why is it important to grow our own food? Why this is important skill?
Well, so it's funny because a lot of people ask me about growing their own food, or about having their own garden. And this might sound a little bit backwards, but not everyone has to grow their own food. There's a lot of great local producers. So gardening is a lot of work and it can be expensive. So if you're passionate about it and you want to grow your own food, awesome. Like good, grow your own food. I'll help you. Message me. We sell seedlings. Awesome. But I have friends that are like nurses and teachers and have 5 kids, and they're like, I think we're going to do a garden. And then after a couple months, it's just a big weed plot and they feel terrible and they've ruined their yard. And, there's so many great local producers. So unless it's something you're passionate about and that you want to really get your hands into, just support your local growers. It's just as good as growing it yourself. If your schedule doesn't allow for the extra amount of hours that you need to garden. So it's kind of funny that people get that, because sometimes people are surprised when I say that, because I'm such an advocate for growing your own. But I've seen so many of my friends put so much time and money into starting a garden, and I help them, and then there's just not enough time if you've got,
maybe we can start with flowers because of the spring.
if you have a career and kids
and then
and
we
things.
go for something bigger later. But
Right, but
totally
not to
agree
say
with
you shouldn't grow your own food. Like if you want to, like I said, I'll help you. We sell seedlings, so we start selling seedlings at the end of May, organic seedlings, and I love to help people start gardens, but just like there is a lot of time and commitment that goes into it. That like, please support your local farmers, not just me, all of them. Like, there's so many good producers around. But you can always start with some container gardening, a couple pots on your deck of tomatoes or peppers, like it doesn't have to be a big, full season garden to have a few herbs or vegetables on your deck or something. That's, beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's the idea of growing. It makes people feel like the circle of life, and as we see now, how we can welcome the change, and there was a changing. This is maybe related us to some close to natural, close the idea of this circle. But of course, like me myself, I would love to buy from you, because I know I can't have all this time and be there doing it. And of course, you have the space and this,
and it's just as important to support your farmers. Like a lot of local farmers are struggling right now with COVID. Like, as much as there's a push to go to more local and more natural, there's less ability to get your hands on these things in some cases, because the farmers markets aren't running. The no contact things are happening. So it's more important than ever to take an extra step to get your food locally. Like if you're used to going to a farmer's market and picking up your meat or your bread or whatever, and now you might have to drive out to the farm to do that, please do that. Like, that's really important right now, that we focus on those local food farmers, vendors, whatever, so that we can keep it local.
Totally with you. And I want to know if you have a big event coming soon. I heard about something like you're planning to go for a market soon. Is this happening?
Okay, so we do an online farmers market that started last year, whenever the Cornwall farmers market decided they weren't going to be running because of COVID restrictions, obviously. And we deliver anyway. With our program, we're used to delivering. So we reached out to a few other vendors and said, listen, we deliver anyway. I know a lot of farmers aren't set up for that or don't have the time for that. So if we create an online market and deliver for you, would you be into that? And the response was overwhelming. So we started pretty small with just a few people we knew, like a beef farmer, a pork farmer, honey, soap, olive oil, that kind of stuff. And then we had more and more requests, and it ended up being quite a few local vendors that jumped in. And it was awesome. We had this online farmers market that you could literally get anything locally from all the different groups, like your meats, your dairy from Upper Canada Creamery, their organic dairy. We were getting bread, or organic bread, from Ottawa. And then local producers like Lambros Olive Oil, they get the olives from Greece and press them here. So all of the vendors were either organic or natural.
Yeah.
Ground soap, peachy honey. I'm forgetting some people, but all of them were local and natural. So we tried to have a little bit of everything. It really wasn't supposed to get that big. It was meant to just be like, let's help out a few of our friends. And then it was like, boom, we have a whole online market.
Yeah, it's happening for a reason, because we need it and we need to connect.
Yes,
and
we do need it. And a lot of the people that we know, whenever they decided they weren't going to do the market, were like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Like, I can't deliver. I can't, like for something like, for example, honey, it's not something that people are going to order every week necessarily, right? Yeah. So it's hard to have like a delivery program. But if you can jump into a cooperative program, then you can, you can deliver. And it's, you know, more important than ever to then it makes it realistic for everyone. So we will be starting that again this
one
year.
more time, Jamie. Can you please share with us one more time the online market?
So the online market, it's not on the page right now because it's seasonal. So we start with it in June, but it will be on this products page. So if you click on shop, then everything shows up in categories. So there's a dairy category, a meat category, and so on. And then it's just like any other online shopping. You add everything to your cart and we deliver weekly. So like I said, right now it doesn't show up because the online market isn't running. But it will be on this part whenever it is. And we run it starting in June because that's when our veggie delivery starts, and we run it until late October.
Perfect. So I will try to invite everyone to follow your website and go ahead and continue being followers for your work, your amazing work, getting people together, growing this amazing market online as well. It's amazing. And I want you, please, before we let you go, just share with us a little bit about your small, tiny getting together for meditation and events you're doing. I can see here events in the website. Is if you press it, we will be able to see what's coming.
So right now the event section is for the meditation, because for the meditation we used to tell people just anybody can come, just drop in, whatever. And now we have to save a seat, obviously, like because we still have to we still practice the distancing. So now for meditation it's no longer a drop in. You actually have to go in and save a seat. So the meditation is $5. We do it every Monday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. We do a little guided meditation and a little bit of sound healing. And then we have tea. The tea is all grown on the farm.
Yes, I love your tea. I love your tea.
So yeah, you just go on and you pick whatever date that you want to attend and add it to your cart. Most of the other events that are in the year, they're kind of pieced together, so I don't always have them on the website, but they're always on the Facebook page events because they're sort of like one-offs, you know. So and they always fill up. So for the events other than meditation, check out the events section on our Facebook page. We've got the sound healing coming up tomorrow with George and Vanessa, but that is the
beautiful couple, beautiful, amazing,
beautiful, amazing. And it always fills up. We have 4 time slots tomorrow. They're all full, but they're planning on doing it monthly. So you can watch out for that. And we've got a healing circle every month with a shaman from Ottawa. We have a chakra dance coming up over the spring solstice.
Wow.
And then Yafa, of course, has the body painting coming up in April. And like I said, these aren't things that I'm running. These are just people that are using the space. So I share it through the Facebook page, but you have to contact those people often to register. So the information's there. It's easy to get a hold of.
And Jaime, I want to know if you feel with the pandemic and what's happening, do you think that people are coming more to attend this kind of spiritual activities, or because of, we have to be in the limited space and we have to, stay a little bit away from each other. We can't really make the normal circle and, hold hands. Do you think this is what's happening? How do you feel about this energy in the place? Is it getting in, or people are like saying, it's okay, I'm going to meditate in the house better, I don't want to go?
It's funny because after the first lockdown, as soon as the lockdown was lifted in September, everybody came like in droves. It was like anything I posted was full right away, and everybody wanted to come to everything. And then we had that other shutdown after Christmas. And now I find it's a little bit slower. And I think it's because people aren't totally convinced that it's not going to just get shut down again. Like people are a little bit like, oh, it's just going to get shut down again, is what I seem to be hearing. But we're getting there. And because it's not a huge space and we do have to have distancing, we don't have many people at a time anyway. So we always fill up, and the people that do come are just so happy to be out in a safe space with like-minded people that can have a positive conversation and to do something for themselves. We're in the country, so we have a lot of country people who don't get to see people quite as much, or their internet isn't fast enough to do an online yoga class or whatever. So they're really anxious to get back out and see people. And as much as, the meditation itself is important, at this point, it's more just about people coming together.
So we
And
come
connecting.
together and we stay safe, right? Because I know I have been there already. So we stay apart. We don't touch each other, no circles. The idea of do your meditation and give this space for yourself. In the same time, you can see people, but we will keep safe distance. So everything will be following the rules for safety. But in the same time, we have this pleasure of being a little bit together.
And there's still a connection. You still get to talk to people, and that's why we always do tea afterwards, because I don't want people to feel like they need to just jump up from meditation and get in their car, like take a minute, sit down, sip some tea, and we just have a little chat, and it's always positive and or people sharing something that's coming up or whatever, it's just nice to connect with people.
Of course, I love your place and I love your energy and I love that you're welcoming everyone. And I'm really I hope you're doing great. And I hope when we go back, to be able to be together, that this place is going to grow more, because I think everybody have this feeling now. We need to get together for more this kind of connection activities, for more healing activities, and we all will need healing after what happened. So I'm putting all this good energy as well to look forward for more connection. And I would love to thank you so much for being with us today and sharing all this amazing information about your amazing work that growing as well with your own personal journey. Thank you, Jaime, so much. And I would love if you please write for us after the interview your website, your Facebook, so let people try to join and connect with you. And I'm looking forward for the online market.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me. This was fun.
It's always a blessing. Thank you. And we'll see you soon. I'm coming tomorrow. See you. Thank you, dear.
Bye.
Bye, Jaime. Thank you guys for being with us today. And I'm really blessed to be able to share with you more about what's happening in this pandemic. It's getting a little bit long time, but we're creating new ways of connection, and we're still successful of putting this human energy in everything we do. So stay with us, and I hope Cornwall and Cornwall will grow more, building the roots of connection, helping each other, getting more art and more support and love in our community. Love you all. See you soon. Bye.